welcome to the podcast. Today I am joined by the lovely Sue Richards, life and business coach. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. But for now, welcome, Sue. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me. So I am, as Anna says, I'm a life and business coach. I typically work with self-employed mums. And the reason I bring life and business together is because for many of us who are self-employed, not just mums who are self-employed, but anybody who has a life outside of their business, life and business become like inextricably linked together. And what I found over the time that I've been doing my work, which has evolved, and what taken a windy route to get to here. But what I found is that we can't just focus on business if we also want a life, and we can't just focus on life if we want to run successful, fulfilling, brilliant business. And for my clients, because they are self-employed mums, they're tending to focus on their family, focus on their business, and then they fall down the middle. So I try and help them come up through that gap, but it does then mean we need to look at what's going on around them. So the life and the business side of things, the relationships, the kids, the partners, friends, and also making sure that they have a life too. So yeah, that's really what I do. I'm all about simplifying things. I help people ditch overwhelm, minimize their mental load, get a bit more clarity about what they're actually aiming for, and then build systems and structures and stuff in place so that they can actually get to those goals, both in life and in business.
What on earth got you into that? What started this whole business?
Oh my goodness. I won't tell the entire story because it would take us the entire podcast episode. But I believe I started this when I was 12. Because when I was 12, I spotted something in my dad which didn't look good. Um, I told him at age 12 that he was going to die before he retired if he carried on the way he was going. And what I didn't know then, but I now know now, is that basically he was suffering with chronic stress and probably burnout. Um, it wouldn't have been called burnout back then, but I think that's pretty much what he was going through back in the like mid to late 80s.
Mm.
Um, he had a job that was really high pressure. He felt the pressure of providing for his family financially, and it really had a knock-on effect on everything else. So it impacted on his health, it impacted on us as a family and the way he interacted with us, shall we say. And yeah, I could just see that there was something out of kilter. um, I then went on to become to go to university. I did a physiology degree at university with the intention of helping people live longer, healthier lives as a medical researcher. And long story short, I've ended up becoming a personal trainer and a nutritionist as a result of losing my confidence, losing my self-esteem, losing my sense of self as a parent. Um, and also looking in the mirror and not really being very happy with what I saw. That's where it all started from. But what I found with changing my nutrition and my movement practices and really focusing on nourishing my body was that actually it nourished my mind at the same time without me really realizing. And then, as I say, it's been a bit of a windy road, but with the clients I've worked with since that point, which was we're talking about 11 years ago, I qualified as a personal trainer. Um, I've noticed that actually it's not those I call them the sticking plaster, like habits, like hiring a personal trainer, hiring a weight loss coach, or hiring a nutritionist. It's actually deeper than that. And it's looking at what was stopping you from doing those things beforehand. Why did you need to bring somebody into your world to hold you accountable and to give you, yes, education? Obviously, that is a massive benefit of bringing a coach into your world is the education and the accountability to some extent. But what I noticed was when people were leaving my time, if I was helping them with, let's say, weight loss, because I have been a weight loss coach in the past, they'd leave my time and put the weight back on again, not because I had done anything wrong and not because I hadn't provided the right education and accountability, but we hadn't dug deep enough into their limiting beliefs and what was holding them, really holding them back from changing their nutrition habits. And that, in a roundabout way, has brought me to where I am now. So, as somebody who's self-employed myself, as somebody from a health and well-being background, and I'm also a qualified accountant, I and being self-employed, I brought that into this sort of holistic package of looking at life and business because, as I say, they are very much intertwined. Um, but in answer to your question, what got me into this? I think I've been. It sounds very spiritual and very woo-woo, and I do bring in a little bit of soul work, heart work, spiritual work, if you like, into what I do. But I honestly believe I was put on this planet to do it. The fact that at 12 I was identifying these things, just I don't know, and I've pulled away from my business a couple of times when life has lifed and I've needed to put pause on certain things, and every time I get drawn back to it. So there's something deep in me that is I'm meant to be doing this. So yeah,
Yeah. And I think when you feel that pull, you know, don't you? You do
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
I started for a very similar reason to you, and that was that loss of identity after having children, that feeling of, I don't know, just so and so's mum.
yeah,
It was that really strange period of time. Loved my kids, don't get me wrong, but they I just didn't feel like me anymore.
yeah. And it happens to so many mums in particular. As a mum, we're the ones that tend to stay at home with the children, and we've lost all of our pre-children identity. When we were working before we had kids, we're now no longer working, certainly for a period of time. Even if we do go back to work, we're still then the ones that are trying to juggle like the children and the job, and often we'll go back part-time because that makes it a bit easier on childcare. And that's what I see is in the vast majority of families, the mum is the one that sacrifices some of her previous identity because they've chosen to have children. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that that is a bad thing, but we get confused, I think, more than anything else. We're like, who am I now? Because I was that person. And now I've got these amazing humans that I need to look after who, as you say, we love them dearly, but I don't really know who I am anymore in this mix because I'm not really an employee. I'm not just a wife or partner. I'm not just a mum. But I'm not even just Sue anymore. So who am I? Um, yeah, and it took me till my third child when he would have been about 3. I hit 40 and I was like, I need to find myself again. This can't carry on any longer. I've got quite a big gap between my second and my third child. So my eldest would have been about 11 at the time. And so I'd had 11 years of sort of trying to work out who the hell I was. And yeah, exercise and nutrition was such a powerful influence on me that that's why I needed to help people with that side of things because I needed other people to see how such simple changes, because I wasn't talking about big, like grand gestures. Simple changes could have such a powerful impact on people's confidence, memory, sleep, and sense of well-being and sense of self. Yeah,
So, like me, you went into a business to make an impact. So when
yeah,
I was looking at starting Direct Selling Success in 2019, I knew I wanted to make an impact on people who had this dream of making an impact for their family and changing their world. And I knew that I could help them, and I wanted to help as many people as possible get that feeling that I'd managed to get from the business, just
yeah,
on a wider scale, like on a global scale was my plan, still is my plan. And so many of those people, they're starting a business in network marketing because something needs to change,
yeah,
whether that is confidence, or whether it's a social thing, or whether it's a financial thing, or they need to escape from something, they tend to start this business because of that.
Yeah.
And I think there's it, like you say, is so intertwined with life that it it affects both things. So the business affects the life affects the
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
and it's spinning plates all the time. Especially when you're working from home, you've got a business to fit around the kids, or you've got a business to fit around a full-time job, or you're busy doing all these other things.
Yeah.
Finding that balance is tricky.
Very tricky. And I don't think there is such a thing as balance at the end of the day. I think I was only literally thinking about this on my walk this morning. I don't know. We must have obviously, I must have just known you were going to ask me about this. Weird. As I say, I'm quite spiritual. But there's no such thing as balance. There's like some weeks you'll be more focused on your business, and some weeks you'll be more focused on your family, and some weeks everything will just drop, and you just got to, accept that actually maybe I just need to have a week of rest or a few days of rest, and that's okay. Because ultimately we're in this for the long haul, right? We're not in it for like the quick wins and I've made $1 million in a week. It's not what we're here for. As you say, we're here to make impact. And if we want to make an impact on other people's lives, we need to be making sure we look after ourselves as well. And that's really what my message is to my clients, is that it's no good only focusing on business or only focusing on your family if you are getting lost in the midst of all of that, because you're not going to be any good to either of those things if you are unwell, whether that's physically unwell or emotionally unwell or energetically unwell or mentally unwell, any of those things. If you're not at your optimum, then you're not going to be giving your best to anything. And so, but yeah, this idea that we've got balance. I heard somebody refer to it. I was at Ideas Fest the other week, and I heard somebody refer to it as a blend, which I really liked the sound of. So a work-life blend. And the mix in the mixing pot is going to blend differently day in, day out, week in, week out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I talk to my clients about, very similar, and you use the word as well, accept. Acceptance of what you can and can't do in the current time, acceptance of where your focus has to go. And all my clients laugh at me. I say, stop shutting yourself. I
Yeah.
should be doing this. I should be doing that. No, stop shutting yourself because
Yes.
it's not helpful.
No, those shoulds and those expectations that
Mm,
for my clients, a lot of those expectations they've put on themselves, they're not
yeah,
even coming from anybody else. So a lot of my clients don't necessarily realize this, but they are usually people pleasing perfectionists at heart. And that's what we
hands
need to
up.
uncover. Yeah, me too. Historically, I am a recovering people pleasing perfectionist. Absolutely. And the more I lean into imperfection, the more success I notice, which is
Yeah,
just mind blowing, really. Um, but yeah, we have to learn to say no. We have to learn to miss out on certain things. We have to learn to compromise on certain things. We have to let go of the expectations that others have set on us and we've set on ourselves. And yeah, those shoulds, they can just go in the bin, right? We don't need to be shoulding on ourselves at all. And nor should anybody else be shoulding on us either. So if you're hearing messages from people saying you should be doing 15 posts a week on Instagram, that's not, well, if you want to do 15 posts on Instagram a week, you crack on, but not because somebody else is telling you to do it, because it feels aligned for you. And so a lot of the work I do is looking at people's vision and their goals and making sure that what the actions they're taking are actually intentionally matched to their goals, not just in business, but in life as well. So if they're looking for freedom, well, what are you doing to actually create that freedom? Because if you're
yeah.
just building up a never ending to do list, then that's not going to work.
No, everything you do has to align to your vision. Everything you do has to align to that goal. But the end goal, and yeah, there's going to be some times where you have to sacrifice something to get to that end goal, but not for the good of the health or for detriment to your family, because they're the reasons that you're doing this thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
it might take you a little bit longer, but stick to what your principles are. You know, why did you start this? And always come back to that end. You know, what's the end in mind? Come back to that place.
Absolutely. And focus on the fact that other people who might have got there quicker are in different life stages, different business stages, different circumstances to you as well. So they might have a nanny, for example, or they might have, a cleaner and a gardener and.
Yeah,
I often talk to people about the fact that anything that we make a decision on, anything we include in our life or business, they are both, they come together, costs either time, money, or energy.
yeah,
So you need to decide which one you're going to compromise on, because you can't have all three of them in every single circumstance. So you might decide that actually you're going to hire a cleaner because that will free up some time, but obviously that means your money's going to drop down in the short term, at least. One would hope it's all going to, balance out in the future, or it's actually going to bring in more money because you've now got more time, more headspace, potentially even more energy to then focus on your business goals for a couple of hours a week. But everything comes at a cost, and we need to just decide which cost we're happy to compromise on.
yeah, absolutely. I remember buying into a mastermind. So I joined a mastermind. It was going to be £800 a month. And I was thinking, this is a lot of money. This is a
Yeah,
huge amount of money. Over the course of a year, I'm going to be paying this out. But actually, I thought to myself, well, I can either spend the money to get me where I'm going to be and really go all in and use this and make that money and more, or I can take the time to do it, learn myself, and do this slowly over a period of time. Which one do I want? And I
yeah,
chose the mastermind, and I seven times my income because
yeah,
I invested correctly for me at that time in the thing that was going to move my business forward the most
yeah,
in in that time where I was. That might not be the right decision for everybody, but it was my right decision and I still had to make it. So I sacrificed the money to give me more time, to give me more knowledge, to give me the things that I needed. And I think,
and ultimately more money. So although you
yeah,
sacrificed short-term money, you gained longer term
yeah, yeah,
success.
absolutely. But it's every time you make a decision, deciding which one's it going to be? You know,
Yeah,
what's it going to give me long term? Is it going to be the right financial decision? Is it going to save me time? Is it going to make me time? Is it going to make me money? And you know, thinking of
yeah,
that business strategy, finance strategy around what you're purchasing and what you're doing and how you're running your business, which I don't think a lot of people who are starting out in business or I don't know, playing it small think.
yeah. I think there's a lot of I can do this on my own, because we all of us, we're intelligent people.
Yeah,
If we've decided to start a business of our own, we've got ambition, probably got some good, brain capacity going on up there. um yeah, you can learn anything. I mean, we've got Google, we've got YouTube, we've got you know access to literally anything you would ever want to know is on the internet. But like you say, if you want to speed things up, if you want to collapse time, if you want to hit your goals quicker, then getting support in some capacity, whether that's, as you said, going into a mastermind where it's more business support, or whether it's getting support around your home.
yeah,
um, you have to make that choice. And as you said, it needs to be aligned, it needs to be intentional, it needs to be the right investment. And that goes for time and energy as well,
yeah,
doesn't it? It's not just about the money, but making sure you're investing your time and your energy wisely as well. So having boundaries in place that make sure that you're not draining your energy and your time in places that aren't serving you, and spending time with people who boost your energy rather than make
yeah.
you feel a bit crap about what it is you're doing. And I know, like, people in the network marketing world, I've been in network marketing myself historically, and I know that, we get people in that world get slated for the
Yeah,
type of work they're doing. Just don't listen to those people. If this feels right for you, you've got to listen to people who are cheering you on, who can see the positives associated with whatever business you are choosing to open, whether it's in network marketing or not. There will be the doubters. I've got doubters in my world, and I just choose not to speak to them too much about what it is I do, because actually they're people I can't remove myself from fully. But equally, they don't need to know the full story.
No, exactly. And you're going to have people that are in your life for different reasons. They're not all in it to support your business. And what you're doing, they might not necessarily agree with or think is a good idea, but they serve a different purpose.
Yeah.
Like my mum, bless her, when I first started in network marketing, she's like, "Oh, you're just selling those things. Why don't you go out and get a proper job? Why are you still selling these things? You can't possibly be making any money from these things." And there was me, earning more than my husband in the military, doing the things, having fun, building this lifestyle, giving us financial freedom. But she just didn't understand at the time. She gets it now, you know,
Yeah.
but she'll freely admit that she just did not understand why I would want to be self-employed at
No,
all.
and I
But
think that
she's there for a
generation,
different purpose.
yeah, and I think that generation were born into that, like, you have a job for life type attitude, and it's a Monday to Friday, nine to
Yeah.
five, you go to the office, and that's the sort of work that they saw as being proper work,
Yeah.
as you described it, which I would describe it that way too. But actually, the world's not like that anymore.
No.
There is no such thing as a job for life. There's no such thing as a guaranteed job anymore. So we need to make sure that we are being savvy when we look at how we are bringing money into our world. And that does not need to be an employed role. It doesn't need to be a self-employed role either. It needs to be whatever works for you as a person, and within your family unit, what works, within those dynamics as well. But yeah, there will be people who don't get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those boundaries that we need to put in place, how much time we spend with those people and how much we choose to share with those people, that needs to come in. And then there may be people that actually this season's done. You know,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah,
coming with me
absolutely.
anymore.
And that takes some courage, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it takes courage, but equally, if it doesn't feel good, I think you sort of know that it needs to,
Yeah.
drift away. Um, it's hard, but it does mean that you've got more time and more energy for the things that do feel good. And I think
Yeah.
that the other thing that I focus on, with my clients, is focusing on what you're gaining rather than what you're losing. So
Yeah.
if a relationship is going to drift, don't focus on the loss of the relationship. Focus on the time, the energy you're gaining to spend with other people who light you up, who make you feel amazing, who you really want in your life. Or it might be generating more time and energy to put into a new hobby, or into your business, or into spending time with your kids and actually feeling really present with your children, because you're not thinking about that person that you spent time with yesterday who actually made you feel a bit like shit.
Yeah.
And so your whole energy just shifts if you're spending time with the right people.
Yeah. And I think this really applies in network marketing because we join a business and we join a team. And some
Yeah.
people in that team might not align with you and your beliefs or how you want to run your business, or there might be a clash of personalities. You might not have the best upline in the world, or the upline's upline isn't the best in the world, or whatever. You've got to make a decision about who you spend the time with within those relationships within your business. Because actually, if they don't align with you, you can distance yourself from them, even though they are within your team. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
I guess it's hard if they're your, their downline from you. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, you're absolutely right. You choose which calls you turn up to, and you choose,
Yeah. You choose how
yeah,
you want to run your business, you choose. And
yeah,
if if you do bring in people who don't align with you, there is no reason for not distancing yourselves from them as well. They're not your responsibility. And this is
no,
was one thing that I learned. You bring people into this business for them, for their opportunity to make a success. There's
yeah,
always
it's a fair
somebody else
point.
they can tap into. And if you don't get on with them, they probably don't get on with you. So it's probably better to distance yourself from them.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, the
Yeah.
energy exchange isn't there, is it?
Yeah, just tap them into somebody else that is aligned with them.
Yeah,
There's lots of people out there that can help and support anybody with any personality.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've had our time together. I just want to ask one question. and I want you to just give your top tip on it really more than anything, and that's balance. And I know we say balance isn't a thing, blend. What are
Yeah.
your top tips on keeping that life business blend going?
Okay. I'll try and keep it brief. The first thing is, well, the first thing is knowing your vision. So, and then making sure that every decision you make is in alignment with that vision. Because if you're doing that, everything's going to work out beautifully. Because, and I'm talking about vision for business and life and self. So keep that in mind in every decision you make. Um, Learn to ditch, delegate, or delay things so that you're not constantly like running on some treadmill that's never ending. So ditch, delegate, delay. They're the three there. And then, oh, crikey, anything else? Blending. Yes, the final thing, there's lots more I could say, but the final thing I would say is to tune into your body, to tune into the messages it's giving you, to tune into your energy, and you will know whether things feel good or not good for you, and then respond to that accordingly. So obviously lean into the stuff that feels good, and then try and rid yourself of the stuff that doesn't feel good, and you will clear up and create so much more energy for all the good stuff that again naturally it will line up with your vision, and then that blend will feel exactly like the blend that's right for you.
Oh, I love that. You are spot on, absolutely spot on. Thank you so much. So, if anybody wants to find out anything more about what you do and how you work, where can they come and find you, Sue?
I hang out a lot on Instagram. That's my favorite platform. So I'll give you that. And then if you're on there and you want to find me somewhere else, come and find me elsewhere. But it's suerichards.coaching on Instagram.
Perfect. We will put all the links in the show notes anyway so that people can come and find you. But thank you so much for being a
Wonderful.
fabulous guest today.
Thanks, Anna. It's been fabulous. Thank you.
Amazing. We shall see you all soon.
Thanks. Bye bye.